Do you want the spelling of my name? Okay. So I live in Richmond. I'm a mother and a concerned citizen. I haven't always been an activist. I became an activist when I began to wake up to the urgency of the climate crisis. Like most parents, I've always tried to do everything I can to ensure that my children will be able to lead happy, healthy, and meaningful lives. And around 2007, I began to realize that global warming poses a serious threat to my children's health, safety, quality of life, and even their very lives. I'm here because 20 years from now, I want the world to be well on its way to 100% renewable energy and to know that we've avoided the worst impacts of climate change. But that window of opportunity to achieve that is closing fast. And we may not be able to do that, and I pray that we can, because God knows what the world will be like in 20 years if we don't. But if failing that, at least I want to be able to look my children in the eye 20 years from now and say, I did what I could. That's why I got myself arrested in a sit-in outside Governor Raimondo's office, protesting her support for the power plant. 20 years from now, even in the best case scenario, we'll be facing climate impacts that will make today's climate impacts look like child's play. So I think by then we'll all be asking ourselves what more we could have done, including all of you on the siting board. Unfortunately, 2 out of 3 of you serve at the pleasure of the governor, who supports the power plant. It takes a lot of courage to defy someone who has the power to fire you. But if you do summon the courage to do that, I don't think you'll ultimately regret it, even if it does cost you your jobs, which I sincerely hope that it won't. 20 years from now, you'll have a good job, or you'll be in comfortable retirement, and more importantly, you'll be looked up to as some of the heroes of our time if you say no to this power plant. I want to say a bit more about Governor Raimondo. She's repeatedly asked us to trust the process and insisted that it's not a done deal. And yet, early last year, this same Governor Raimondo publicly assured the CEO of Invenergy, we're going to make sure you're successful here. In other words, don't you worry. We're going to ram this thing through no matter what. That was before the process even started, before any hearings had been held, before the application was even filed. But many of us, it's very tempting to suspect that there's another process going on, one that we're not supposed to know about, the secretive dealings behind closed doors, and that was already finished at that point. Governor Raimondo had already taken campaign donations from Invenergy's CEO and 2 of its lawyers. She already had close ties to Goldman Sachs, which has a financial stake in this project. If you do find the courage to stop this power plant, the onus will be on Governor Raimondo to show that we can trust the process. That now that the board has weighed all the evidence and made the only reasonable decision that could be reached, given the facts in the case, the onus will be on her to show that she respects that decision and that there will be no negative repercussions for you or for anyone else who came out against the power plant. One second. Okay, this power plant would make it, In fact, as others have already pointed out, Governor Raimondo promised that if there are any issues with the power plant, then it won't go forward. So the governor herself has publicly stated that you should reject this power plant because there are numerous issues, as many others have pointed out, any one of which should be enough to prompt you to reject it. This power plant would make it impossible for our state to meet the targets set forth in the Resilient Rhode Island Act, which was passed by an overwhelming majority of the Rhode Island legislature and was meant to be a roadmap for protecting our climate. Governor Raimondo likes to call Rhode Island a leader in renewable energy, but we can't be a leader in renewable energy while building the largest fossil fuel-fired power plant in New England. The whole point of renewable energy is to help us get off fossil fuels. If we don't phase out fossil fuels, all the wind turbines and all the solar panels in the world will not save us. Invenergy claims that this power plant would decrease our greenhouse gas emissions, but that's ridiculous. This power plant would emit more carbon dioxide equivalents per megawatt hour of energy generated than the current average for New England. And that includes all those aging coal plants that will be retired in the next few years. We can do better. Back in 2011, the International Energy Agency warned that if we didn't stop building new fossil fuel infrastructure, we'd be locked into runaway catastrophic global warming within the next 5 years. Well, we're about at that 5-year point right now. So if it's not too late, it's getting very, very close. Yes. Okay, so time is running out, not just for me, but for all of us. We can't afford to build any new fossil fuel infrastructure. We need a rapid phase out of fossil fuels at the speed of a World War II-style mobilization. We need to tackle this crisis with the same single-minded focus, the same massive investments, and the same all-hands-on-deck spirit of hard work and sacrifice that was seen in this country during World War II. Our state...
Mrs. Petrie, if you wrap, we'll probably have time to get through everyone, so you're through your 5 minutes. Thank you. Can you close?
Okay. Our future for centuries, even millennia to come, depends on the choices that we make now. So please, for our children, for our state, and for future generations, do the right thing. Thank you.